The most important thing I've learned, well, there's a few very important things that I've learned.
How to work together as a team. I'm usually one to work independent from others, but with B&B I learned how to cooperate and coordinate with other people to make sure that something gets done faster and better.
Time management is very important in B&B. So many projects, deadlines you gotta meet. Like if you don't have this video package by 21st, you know, they can't air nothing. So you have to have something by then.
I've gotten pretty good at researching, contacting sources, and just generally using my creative abilities to construct scripts.
You really gotta be able to think on your feet, because if you don't, you're not gonna be able to solve any problems. Like, I really learned how to roll with the punches. If something goes wrong, you have to think of an alternative solution to figure out that problem.
I learned a lot about how to communicate to people, how to make friends, because, you know, I wasn't originally in this, but one day I just decided, hey, I'm in here now, and I've met a lot of people through this.
You know, you're working with a bunch of different people, all different ages, in a bunch of different situations, some of which you might know these people a lot, some of which you might not. Sometimes you have crazy deadlines, sometimes you have hard deadlines. So it's all these different situations that are kind of being in play at once. And so it's the fact that you have to think on your feet and you have to be able to work with anyone. So that has definitely been something that has helped me a lot, and I'll carry that throughout the rest of my life.
Not necessarily like doing production and like editing, like learning wise, like for life, talking and communicating is like the one thing that I learned and like grew in my skill set, I guess.
Just learn how to like speak publicly and how to actually work not only as a team but also individually on some things.
Assignment and everyone has a job to do, and it's for a reason. You need everyone to be able to work as a team, so you need to know how to work with your peers, and that has definitely helped me out a lot.
Wow, that was an amazing video by Dalton Chen.
I know, it certainly gets me thinking about how the seniors are leaving.
Oh, that reminds me of why we're here in the first place. Coming to you from the set of B&B's Midweek Update, welcome to the first ever Senior Tribute Fest.
Today, we'll be looking at the videos that our sophomore class has made to remember the graduating seniors.
I'm Maya Passanisi.
And I'm Christina Pena, and welcome to our Senior Tribute Fest.
These videos were created by BMB's Class of 2026, where we each interviewed a senior and compiled the different interviews to make videos for them to look back on their time in BMB.
It's crazy how the seniors are going to be going off to college soon.
I agree, and there will be new freshmen who will be coming to MEPM and joining BMB.
Yeah, let's see what the BMB seniors recommend for the future freshmen joining the program.
What is your message to the students for this year?
Enjoy every moment. You know, we've learned, you know, too much.
Everyone be quiet. Yeah.
Just the sports one?
No.
Yeah, we just need sports.
I came into this program and I was like, oh, I don't want to be on camera and I want to do journalism, like written journalism. Like, ask Mr. Stein, that's what I said to him during the orientation. You know, I started going to morning announcements, and eventually I started doing on-air work. Like, I think I was on the morning announcements as an anchor 5 times my freshman year.
Closer to the people and places in and around the MEPM community.
Your 4 years here go by quicker than you think. And you don't want to be looking back on your 4 years at MEPM wishing that you had done more, wishing that you had gotten out more, and that you'd gotten involved in more things.
I'm really happy that I joined this program. I didn't think that I would, but my mom actually convinced me to do it, and I'm happy that she did, because it was a choice that has shaped my entire high school career. And if you're thinking about joining BMB or you are in BMB, just know that you're really lucky and just keep going on your path.
Yeah, so step out of your comfort zone, get involved with everything. Like, the only way you realize like what path you want to be on is by dabbling in every area.
Wow, I wish I had seen that before I joined BMB. I could have been so prepared.
Yeah, you definitely needed that. Just kidding.
Okay, Maya. Anyways, I wonder what the seniors are going to remember about these past 4 years in BMB.
Me too. Luckily, Ollie Mattis made a video about just that.
The most important thing I've learned, well, there's a few very important things that I've learned. For one, communicating, sending an email, knowing how to approach someone that you're not familiar with for the intent of just like asking them questions. And I mean, besides that, there's also just like working as a team. Other classes, there might be some group assignments, but they're pretty arbitrary. Whereas like BMB, you do a group assignment and everyone has a job to do. And it's for a reason. You need everyone to be able to work as a team, so you need to know how to work with your peers. And that has definitely helped me out a lot.
I think the most important thing I've learned was that you really gotta be able to think on your feet, because if you don't, you're not gonna be able to solve any problems. Like, I really learned how to roll with the punches. If something goes wrong, you have to think of an alternative solution to figure out that problem.
I would have to say that time management is very important in BMB. So many projects, deadlines you gotta meet. Like, if you don't have this video package by the 21st, they can't air nothing, so you have to have something by then. It's really a question of just, can you do it, and organizing your time in a way that makes it the most effective.
Working together as a team is one of the most integral parts of BMB, because that's like one of the biggest things behind the scenes, that nothing that we do would go on air without our ability to work collaboratively.
They have made so many great memories and left such a large impact on our program and each and every one of us.
Yeah, I feel like a big reason for that would be from what the teachers have taught them.
I can't even imagine what we would do without Mr. Russell as our absolute tech genius.
I agree, Tina. And do you know who else agrees?
Who, Maya?
Timidire does, and she even made a film about it.
When I was interviewing to be in the program in 8th grade, Mr. Russell's probably the reason why I got into the program.
Oh my gosh. When I first joined the program, Mr. Russell was kind of just there.
I remember the whole interview. I barely talked to Mr. Stein or Mr. Kalish. It was only Mr. Russell.
I formed a really nice relationship with Mr. Russell, which I never expected, because I was on the quieter side. He's definitely on the quieter side.
Me and him were just talking about like these, video games like Team Fortress 2. We were talking about computers and technology and all that.
Always optimistic and always very helpful, and was open to help you no matter who you were.
It must have been last year, and especially this year, having him as a teacher. Like, I hang out with him. I hang out by his desk every day now.
I learned that he is such a funny person. He is always there for you, no matter what it is. And I'm just really happy that I had him as a teacher.
Mr. Russell, they call him the tech wizard. I feel like I've learned anything about my technical expertise from him.
Has literally been my Lord and Savior. Like 75% of the time I do projects.
You call him over and he just somehow gets the computer fixed.
Because Adobe says, we don't want to save your project right now. And I'm like, hey Russ.
He doesn't even have to do anything, he just looks at it and it fixes itself.
Besides the technology standpoint, he's just such a good person.
Just seeing him working and being such a positive influence on other people and helping them with their issues.
Like, he's given me advice for stuff. Like, I go to him for everything.
He is the perfect example of what not only a man, but what a person should be in modern day society.
I want to be like him.
That was truly heartwarming. Wouldn't you say so, Maya?
Yeah, it was so wonderfully put together, and it really shows that BMB wouldn't have come as far as it is today without Mr. Russell.
You're right, Maya, but we can't forget about another teacher who has helped BMB throughout the years.
It's funny you say that, because didn't you make a video about Miss Kalish?
Why, yes I did, Maya. Let's watch it now.
Kalish? Oh, she was so nice.
Miss Kalish.
Miss Kalish?
Miss Kalish.
Miss Kalish.
Miss Kalish.
Miss Kalish? Yeah, I like to think of Kalish as the welcome mat kind of this program.
Taking our class as a sophomore, I feel like I've learned several compositional values that I implement into my projects all the time.
Last year, we realized that we are very similar people. Like, we have a lot in common. So I would say, like, we have so much to talk about. I go to her for advice, and sometimes I have that ability to go to her and be like, can I ask you this as a friend and not a teacher? And I love that I have that ability with her.
And creating motion graphics and just regular graphics, and even just creating thoughtfully composed shots. I feel like I've learned all of that from her.
I would say that one thing I'm gonna remember about Miss Kalish is that she loves dogs, but also that she remembers everything. Like, you tell her like a small detail, and like, let's say, oh, my birthday is on this day, like, she will be one to message on Remind and be like, oh, happy birthday. Like, she remembers everything.
And even in terms of creating graphics, I feel like I wouldn't be where I am now without her help in my sophomore year.
And looking at it freshman year, I don't think I would have taken that jump from freshman to sophomore year if it wasn't for her, right? It was the fact that it was the look, this is high school, it's not as big of a deal as you think. It's, you know, you're gonna be able to kind of get into the swing of things sooner than you possibly think. So she was honestly so important to that just adjustment, that huge jump that I took.
Because when I came in, I had no idea how to work Photoshop, but with her by my side, she taught me everything. She taught me how to mask, she taught me how to change the saturation, she taught me everything.
So I'm really glad that I formed a relationship with her, that I can go to her for anything, and you know, I'm gonna miss her so much next year.
That was so emotional, and I know the seniors are going to love looking back at that video in the future. Anyways, Tina, I think that's all we have for today's fest.
Wait, I think you're forgetting about the BMB teacher who started it all.
Oh my God, how could I forget about the Stu Stein?
Yeah, I mean, aren't you the one who made this film, Maya?
Okay, shut up. Let's just roll the clip.
Mr. Stein's just the main guy that heads it all.
I think Mr. Stein, using one of his terms, he has kind of given me the eye of a digital storyteller.
I would say I'm not one to take compliments, like, you know, to heart, but when Mr. Stein gives me a compliment, like, that's like, that will make my entire day.
One and only Mr. Stein. He's the leader. He's the one who allowed me to just be in here in the first place, and for that, I will always thank him.
While Kalish and Russ mainly taught me a lot of technical stuff, in BMB, I feel like Stein has taught me more about the creative aspect in BMB, as in like creating packages.
He did a good job of, he was very honest with me, which I think was a big thing. It was a lot of constructive criticism. Not many nice things are said when it comes to Mr. Stein and me when we're talking to each other. It's a lot of, you sucked at this, you have to do a better job at that. But it was that real life talk that, like, sometimes I think that people need a smack in the face to be like, whoa, like, I have to get my, you know, my things in line. I have to make sure that I'm doing these things in order to be successful.
He usually makes really good decisions about where to put stuff and just how to inform all of us on how packages are made.
I know that me and Tyler and a couple other people, we usually do the human interest film. So Mr. Stein has definitely helped us narrow in on the story, like focus in on the story, because you might not know it, but everywhere you go, everyone has a story to tell, and as a reporter, it's your job to find the story, and Mr. Stein has really beat into that and helped us create wonderful narratives that have even been like able to win awards.
We're going to make a Diet Coke shrine. We have already ordered the Diet Coke, and we're setting it up. So.
Wow, that was really good.
Are you giving yourself a compliment right now?
I'm just making up for the lack of compliments I'll get from Mr. Stein. Like how Tyler and Maya explained in the video, he doesn't hand them out all that often.
Yeah, I get what you mean. One time, I had Mr. Stein write me a letter of recommendation, and while there were some compliments, he also talked about my contributions to STN.
It's funny that you bring STN up, because it just so happens to be the next topic of this film, made by Emma Santiago. Welcome to STN!
I feel like BMB's been nothing but good memories, but two of the best times that I've had in BMB was definitely when we went to California.
It's probably those California trips. I mean, the first one was definitely a lot different than the second one. The first one, I was more of I still obviously had a big role in that fact, and you know, there was a bunch going on, but it was the fact that, like, I had all these friends, everyone that I was obviously so close with, but you went from like, oh yeah, that's like a work buddy, that's a work friend. Sometimes I maybe hang out with this person or that person occasionally. So like, it really shows that all it takes is a few days locked in a hotel with someone else.
And it's just like, there's a different bond with the people that you make out there, and even just like, even in the part of competing, going to that area of Long Beach, and I'm pretty sure this year it's going to be in Florida, but it's just a completely different landscape, and you get to meet new people, form bonds with people that you already know, and just create connections that you'll have forever.
But no, it was that jump from that, where I was still doing my job and I was helping, to then, I guess, becoming more of a leadership role or a mentorship role the best way that I could. You know, something that I've always taken with me is, what's the point of being a leader? What's the point of being a mentor if you have no one to lead?
I remember watching Hannah and Q do it the year before, and to get to hit the upload button and hit submit was probably the coolest thing ever, and everybody was just watching, and it was really cool, and everybody was like, it was a celebration, because even though we did have to cut out that minute, and you could tell we had an issue and it didn't look smooth, like we knew in our hearts that we killed it.
So it's all these different situations that are kind of being in play at once, and so it's the fact that you have to think on your feet and you have to be able to work with anyone.
I'm thinking back to Crazy Eights in California, where we were in the last hour of the competition and we realized that we were a minute over the maximum, so it had to be 8 minutes long, and we realized we were 9 minutes. So we had to cut out a full minute and probably 15 seconds of, stuff we worked hard on, and nobody complained, but you had to do what you had to get, you had to do what you had to do.
After we finished all the competitions, just the incredible sense of not just relief, but just shared sense of accomplishment that we were all in this together, and that we had all done that together.
That was truly a great film to end on because it brought back so many great memories from STN.
I felt like our STN trip was such a good experience, and we got to learn so much from the seniors and alumni, while also being able to have our own larger roles in the package groups.
Yeah, I had a great time at STN this past year. Although it was both of our first times going, we had such a blast and we made so many great memories.
I would definitely recommend that all new sophomores apply to STN, because it's honestly one of the greatest experiences I've had throughout my entire high school career. Well, it seems like we ran out of time, so thank you for tuning in to our Senior Tribute Fest. Until next year, I'm Christina Pena.
And I'm Maya Passanisi, and we hope you have a great summer. Goodbye, class of 2024. We'll miss you.
I will miss Tyler. I'm joking. Roll out, squad!
Roll out!